everyone from Mexico City. Welcome to another edition of the Gringo Show. So great to have you with us, and happy spring. The jacarandas are blooming, the weather is getting warmer, and AMLO, get this, is smiling. Trust me, it's good that AMLO is smiling and not angry at some parliament. He's happy because it's his first big mega project is done. The new Felipe Angeles Airport opened on Monday with an early morning Aeromexico flight to Villahermosa, Tabasco. Tabasco, not the home of Tabasco sauce. So when you get off the plane, there's no Tabasco sauce factory, no Tabasco sauce experience. You can't get a shirt from the Tabasco sauce store gift shop that says, I went to Tabasco and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. The only thing you can really get in Tabasco is a mosquito bite. It surely is not coincidental that this is also the president's home state. So good job, Aeromexico. Some good brownie points there, right? Wink, wink. We've done a lot of reporting on this, but to sum it up, the previous president started building an airport east of the existing international airport that looked like some futuristic jungle snakeskin badass thing that was designed by famous architect Norman Foster. AMLO said it was way too fresa, and how could we be spending this much money on an airport when so many people are living in poverty? When he was elected in 2018, he canceled the Snake Airport at a very large cost and then built the new airport on a military base in Santa Lucia, some 45 kilometers north of the city. The military actually designed and built the airport in record time, a simpler design that proponents say is more aligned to the country's needs and will alleviate the load in the current airport. Opponents say that the airport is way too far, that the design looks like a bus station, that the air traffic patterns will not be lessened because of the locations of the two airports, that it wasn't less expensive because the government had to spend so much to cancel the old airport, that there's a lack of infrastructure, and that there are doubts that this will be certified by the international authorities. 3 Mexican airlines are flying from the airport right now, but AMLO said last week that Delta is considering flying from there as well. But again, our president is happy, so let's rejoice. Moving on, the reason why a lot of people don't like following politics because they feel it's the same old thing, corruption, theft, and abuse of power. They're gonna steal from us anyway. Well, another story, El Branco, the former independent governor of Nuevo León, and not O.J. Simpson's famous SUV, was arrested last week after authorities uncovered irregularities in his 2018 presidential campaign. They couldn't track the origin of some campaign donations, and he was using government employees to get signatures for his campaign, which is illegal. Authorities also found 2.1 million pesos, 2 guns, and 2 safes. And isn't that what anybody has in their home, right? Isn't that what you have in your home? Before you say, oh, another politician in the country who steals and gets rich after being in office, remember this happens in the US all the time. The only difference is that the politicians have made it legal. So in Mexico, someone gets illicit campaign contributions and stashes money away, and in the US, they get an unlimited amount of money from corporations to win an election, serve for a few years, and then get big jobs with lobbying firms that give huge salaries because corporations pay a lot of money to keep the system rigged for them. Corruption is everywhere in any country, and it comes in different forms. We just have to remember that. The good news is that smiling and happy AMLO came out and said that the case against El Branco must not be a weapon of political retribution and questioned his arrest.
Lo que siempre recomiendo es que no se debe de utilizar la ley para venganzas políticas, no se pueden fabricar delitos y al mismo tiempo no debe de haber impunidad.
But at the same time, Sandra Cuevas, recently elected alcaldesa for the Cuauhtemoc municipality of Mexico City, was temporarily removed from her post for, listen to this, allegedly robbing 2 police officers of their radios and cell phones, beating them, and then locking them up in her office after a disagreement. Kind of sounds like a porno, no? So a judge removed her from her position for 2 months while she faces trial. Now, there's a story that Cuevas was unliked by Morena and was rejected from the party because she was not a nice person. So she's claiming there's a political vendetta. And the question here is it correct for a judge to remove someone from a democratically elected office due to violations that haven't been proved yet? So while this spat continues, I continue to run into the same pothole. Just fix the potholes, please. I'll give you my number. Do you remember mid-March 2020, strange St. Patrick's Day parties? You were like, yay, but should we party? And then here in Mexico, Viva Latino was happening, and it was like, oh, well, should this be canceled? Well, it was canceled in 2021, but it returned last weekend to Foro Sol in Mexico City, promoting great Latin music and artists such as Los Fabulosos Cadillacs, Julieta Venegas, and Limp Bizkit. Latino? Limp Bizkit Latino? All right, although for Viva Latino, we should have called them Galleta Floja. The band from Jacksonville, Florida, headlined the annual show that surely made fans warp back to the 90s when we were angry, hated our parents, and wanted to make puppies cry. Just rolling, 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 rolling. But in a large concert, there's always risks of theft, and this weekend there was an organized attempt to steal people's phones. But not so fast. Police tried to stop a man inside the festival, and when we tried to escape police custody, the crowd tackled him to the ground so he can be arrested. It's great. But what I think really happened is that he accidentally went into a Limp Bizkit mosh pit and just got caught up in rolling, 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 rolling. Ah, all right. Take me away. You smell. Mosh pits stink, don't they? They really smell bad. Then the U.S. national soccer team came to Mexico City this week to face the Selección Mexicana in what was an important match between the two rivals, both needing an estimated 4 points to qualify for this Winners' World Cup in Qatar. A lot on the line, including North American bragging rights. Here's more. Soccer rivalry between the U.S. and Mexico is pretty intense, and many in Mexico would say that the Americans don't pay much attention to this sport. But think again. Over 800 fans from the American Outlaws, the official supporter club of the U.S. men's national team, came to Mexico this week to support the red, white, and blue. They came together on Wednesday to reunite and cheer for the team at the night before event, and then went to Azteca for the match. Dress well, interestingly. For many Americans who live in Mexico, the 0-0 tie was perfect. Nobody wins, nobody loses.
Un empate no está mal. Okay.
Le sirve a todos, eh?
Los dos.
That does it for this edition of The Gringo Show. If you like us, please follow us on Facebook and YouTube. And if you don't like this, just leave us alone. It's okay. The Gringo Show reads the papers, follows Twitter, and stays in touch with what's happening, reports it back to you in English so you don't have to dig it out. We'll see you next week.
Gringo, Mexico is laughing thanks to you.